Hi, I'm Lindsay from Lindsay Elliott Coaching, and welcome to this video all about New Year, New You. I hope that if you have looked at a few other videos on my channel, you'll know that this video isn't going to be like other New Year, New You videos, and I hope to be dispelling some myths around this. So as I'm recording this live at the moment, it's towards the end of the year, and obviously at the end of the year in our society and in the media and just in the general air is usually some feeling of maybe reflecting on the year that's just gone and looking ahead to the next year. And in that can be some kind of assessment of, okay, what do I want to achieve? What goals do I want to have? How do I want to improve myself? What changes do I want to make? And all of this is completely fine. Nothing wrong with any of this. But what I want this video to help you to see or to do is that you see this with a bit more clarity, with less misunderstanding about what actually needs to change. So that maybe you can move forward with the things that really do need to be looked at, or you do just have a desire to change, rather than trying to look at me and how I'm doing and trying to secure up a sense of identity that is impossible to secure up. So I just want to acknowledge that there can be a lot of pressure around at this time of year, and particularly on social media and also on adverts on the television. We can see a lot of prompting and pressure to join a gym or to go on a diet or to move home or to book that luxury holiday or to get a new job. So there's a lot of conditioning that goes in at this time of year that really is saying how you are at the moment or how your life is at the moment is not good enough, and that you need to improve things. You need to be better, or your life needs to be better, or to reach a certain standard in some way. That's really the underlying drive between certainly all marketing but also in the kind of general ethos of our culture, is that we need to always be pushing ourselves to improve, to improve our lives, to improve ourselves. And I'm not saying that that isn't something you can't go for. Absolutely, that's totally fine to do that. But we, as I said, we want to do that with a bit of clarity. But I just want to point out and recognise that there is a lot of conditioning and pressure that comes with this. And then there's also obviously a mind, our minds, a human mind that loves to have and gets really excited about a problem to solve or a new plan to stick to. It loves the dopamine hit of all of the willpower coming into play and creating something that it wants to follow and working out how we're going to do it. It's all like a big puzzle that the mind loves to get engaged with. And this is actually what our minds are designed for, is to, if there's a problem, to solve it. But what we want to try to see is some of the problems that it's trying to solve, which is you and your identity and your good enoughness, is absolutely not something that it can solve or even is a problem in the first place. So, and this is often the why, when we start out with really good intentions and all of our willpower is in place and we're feeling really energized and excited about something, and then 3 weeks, 3 months into the change, it all starts to wane and we just end up reverting back to our old habits and our old ways of being, and then we end up feeling really disappointed and then feeling like we're not good enough, and round the cycle we go. So what I really want to help you to see in this video is that this newer, shinier version of you that society would have you believe exists is completely made up and isn't necessary anyway for you to achieve these standards or meet these standards in order to feel good enough. And also that the part of us that we are hoping to improve by most of the changes that we want to see is not actually who we are anyway. So it kind of takes a lot off of our plate. And again, not saying that that you don't have goals, not saying that you don't have things you want to change. That's all perfectly fine. But we want to be really clear and reasonable about what's actually achievable and whether we actually need to even look at it anyway. So I'm going to draw a little diagram. So we've got a little person here. And so this could be me or this could be you. And up here, we've got all of our thoughts and feelings flowing all of the time within what we could call like the bubble of our life. So let's say that up here we feel that something we need to change is that we want to feel less anxious, or we want to feel less overwhelmed, or we want to feel less stressed, or we want to have more determination, or we want to have more willpower, or we want to really stick to something, or we want to be kinder, or we want to be more compassionate. If we've got any kind of version of I need to be a better person going on, then that's up in the realm of our thoughts and feelings and beliefs. And that's an energy that is moving all of the time. And society would have us believe that it is possible to have this perfected identity, this perfected personality, and this perfected life where we feel good, we've got great self-esteem, we feel confident all the time, we never feel stressed, we never feel anxious, we never feel insecure, we never feel worried. That's what the whole new year, new you is really trying to buy into, this belief that all of the personality, this is what this is, the thoughts, the feelings, the behaviours, is something that we need to improve, we need to fix, and we need to change so that we only show up in a certain way in our life. And what I want to point to is the truth of this. Now, the truth of this is that thought, feeling, and behaviour is an energy that is constantly flowing all of the time. Who knows where it comes from? Our brains don't make up thoughts, they're just there randomly. I think it's a bit of the mystery of life. Where do thoughts come from? What's creating thoughts? There's certainly some interaction with the brain, 100%, where we get neural pathways built and we get habits in our brain for sure. But where like the energy of thought and feeling comes from, who knows? And that's flowing all of the time through us. It's constantly moving, constantly changing. And of course, yes, some people who are maybe labelled as anxious or depressed or stressed would have more thoughts and feelings that have the flavour of anxiety or stress or depression flowing through them. And I understand that experience can be really uncomfortable. And we may not like it, and we may believe all sorts of things about who we are as a person if we identify as being depressed or anxious or stressed and in some way not good enough. But what I want to point to, and what I point to in all of my work, is that this flow of energy, this psychology, this personality, if you like, is not who we actually are. That's an experience passing through us. That is a momentary, even if it comes back, it's a momentary experience passing through us that absolutely ebbs and flows and changes all the time. We don't need to do anything to move this energy on. We don't need to ever move a feeling on. We don't ever need to move a circumstance on. Life is going to do that for us. But somewhere else, now I'm going to point it down here in the body, but of course it isn't. It's just everywhere. Somewhere else is a part of us that is able to witness this, so is able to look up at it and witness it and notice it and experience it. And that part of us that's in the present moment is totally okay all of the time. There's no question here of personality traits or feelings or thoughts being who we are. It's just a space of total everythingness, but of like peace, of freedom, of resilience, of like the question of am I good enough does not even exist in this space. It's just the space of awareness. It's just the space of presence, of life, energy, whatever you want to call it. And so in the new year, new you, we are looking to fix something that is moving all the time anyway, we have no control over, and isn't who we are anyway. It isn't who we are. Who we are is that capacity that is experiencing all of this in which our life is. So when we really know this can be really hard to see. It took me many years to really see that my personality, my thoughts, the feelings that move through me is not who I am. Personality is just a made up thing. And that who I am is the container for all of it that could never need fixing. That's where real freedom lies. So real freedom doesn't lie in new year, new you, less anxious you, less stressed you, less angry you, less depressed you, and happier, more grateful, kinder you. There's no freedom there because we're always going to have some degree of that emotional landscape going on. It's always going to be moving and ebbing and flowing. And if we're really bought into believing that this is who we are, then the concept or the conditioning that we live in of the whole carrot that gets dangled of I'll be happy when, which I don't know what, it just makes me feel so tired even thinking about it. This is what goes on in our society all the time. I'll be happy when I have a better relationship, a better job, a thinner body, less wrinkles, more money, when I'm more successful. I'll be happy when. None of that is actually true, because happiness is never coming from outside of us. Our experience of happiness or contentment is only ever coming temporarily through our thought and feeling. And there's a space of deep, something much deeper than happiness that is absolutely available to us all the time. So that I'll be happy when, new year, new you, we're looking at something that's temporary, changing that, as opposed to really looking at, well, who am I really? If I'm not this, who am I? And when we answer that question, there's something even beyond something called contentment that we can live more in and be more aware of, be more tapped into, be more in the felt experience of. So I hope this has been helpful. Just to summarise, what I'm pointing to is that there is a load of conditioning around. You will see it even more if you're watching this in real time when I post it, you'll see it way more in the run up and in January. Loads of pressure, loads of marketing basically to say that there's something wrong with you and that you need to fix it. And I hope that you will remember that the bit that is pointing to is something that is totally moving, changing all of the time. And even if it's about our body looking a different way, well, that's just part of our sense of identity, our sense of our personality, that people perceive me this way, I perceive me this way. That's all completely made up. It's just thought and feeling flowing. And there's nothing that we need to do to fix that. But the more that we can know that, ironically, the more that we know that we are this stable wholeness, that where there's the idea of fixing doesn't even exist, then we can look at, okay, so maybe I do want to get a bit fitter, or maybe I do want to earn a bit more money. Maybe I do want to move house to the countryside. Then we can look at our goals and our wants and our desires from a completely different space, not from all of the overthinking of the mind and standard making that the mind likes to do and society likes to do, that is completely unachievable. It's completely unachievable to fix this in place. That's what I'm really trying to say. So why would we even bother? Okay, so I hope this has been helpful. If you've got any questions about this, please do let me know. Write them in the comments below or send me an email. And if you think that there's someone who would benefit from this video, someone maybe who's really struggling with their self-esteem or believing there's something wrong with them, or they're really stuck in anxiety or stress or depression, or in a constant drive to improve themselves that is actually making them suffer more, then please do send it to them. And please give the video a thumbs up and a like, and subscribe if you haven't already. And thanks so much.